Shalom, welcome back, my Hebrews and Hebrews. This is Oilfield Disciple, cruising with Jesus. By now, the our daily bread should have posted. Uh, I'm just out here trying to finish up my day. I figured I'd put the camera on here and we talk about a few things. So let me flip the camera around. Let's discuss the goings on around us and what I see coming in the future. You can agree or disagree or agree to disagree. Um, Totally up to you, depending on your own research. So let's cruise with Jesus. Right now, we've got riots in the streets, looting over the false premise of one man murdered by law enforcement officers. And that's how we should look at it. We should look at it that uh, a civilian, a citizen, was killed by those who are supposed to be upholding the law, uh, doing bad. Not a white officer killing a black man, but a civilian citizen of the United States maliciously murdered um, by law enforcement who was supposed to uphold the law but chose to do wicked rather than good. All right, now then, if we look at it that way, then we'll start to break down these uh, racial barriers that we see going on. And these racial barriers and divisions that we have are simply because of the way we're trained up and the way we've been trained up for hundreds of years now. And we always choose to see color because that's the way we're trained to operate. Now, that said, all the riots and looting, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of why I believe that they are. Uh, but right now, simply, the riots and looting are simply because there's an opportunity to do bad and do wicked and evil. And there are those individuals who have chosen to take that opportunity and capitalize on that opportunity to do wicked and do evil. And mankind's always going to have that going on. Now, in this culture, we are a pampered culture. We go to the store and there's 30 different types of Lay's potato chips, 50 different types of candy bars, hundreds of kinds of ice creams, uh, different flavors, sodas, you name it. We're a pampered life. We live a pampered lifestyle. Um, Now, what's going to happen when we begin removing that lifestyle from us who enjoy that lifestyle? Well, those of us who are moral will deal with it and move on. Those of us who are prepared will deal with it and move on. But those of us who are in that category are far few and in between. What I see coming is these lootings and riots are just further weakening an already weak infrastructure. What happens in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, when the grocery store shelves don't get restocked? There is no food on the shelves, and what food is there is marked up 10, 15, 20 times the price that we're used to. And either it's not there or you can't afford it. Then what happens? Well, then the normal moral man has to think about doing immoral acts in order to feed his family. And then we got problems. Now we've got um, bands of raiders and looters not destroying um, businesses, but going from home to home seeking out food from those who were prepared to feed their own family. Now we've got issue because now it's not just in our big cities, it's not just in our suburban areas, it's in every town across the nation. And the government and the police are not coming to help you. You're not going to be able to call 911 and say Billy Bob is here with his pickup and 3 brothers and they're here to get my food. No, you're going to have to defend it yourself. And you have to be prepared in that mindset to do so. Uh, Nobody wants to think about having to do that. No moral, um, God-fearing man wants to have to do that. But we're coming to a point where you're going to have to make that decision. Outside of a miracle of our Father who is in heaven, outside of that miracle happening and changing the direction and the course of which we're going today, um, that's what we're going to be faced with. You know, if you don't see the need to have at least 6 months of food supply in your cabinets right now, you're fooling yourself and you're foolish. I said at least 6 months. Because here's the deal. Let me get you over here. Well, it's just going to have to be kind of blurry. If the grocery stores, because of this, quit getting stocked up, let's just say next month, well, a week from then, a month from then, it's not going to miraculously start filling again. It's just going to further deteriorate, further weaken. Uh, how long will it be before they start getting food again? Well, when there's no reason for farmers to go to market with their food, with their commodities, then they no longer work. They only do to provide for their own family. So it's not going to come back next week, next month, even next year. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. I say have at least, this isn't my area of expertise in teaching y'all how to prep. I would suggest going to Viking Preparedness with Pastor Fox or Bear Independent with Bear. They have a whole lot better insight on this than I do. I'm just telling you what I think is coming. And I say 6 months is where I'm looking at having a minimum of for those that Yahweh's entrusted me to protect. Um, that's quite a bit of food that I've got to get mounted up here uh, because 6 months will give me a buffer zone to figure out what I'm going to do next. And I already have some ideas and some thoughts if it goes that bad, if it goes that far. And you should be too. Because like I said, if it doesn't, once the stores quit being stocked, it's not going to miraculously come back in 3 months, 3 weeks, 6 months, even a year. It's only going to get progressively worse. These are the things you need to think about. And as people get hungry, they will do rash and unrational things to provide and feed themselves and their families. And of course, wickedness will abound. Another opportunity for people to do wicked. So you've got both fronts there coming at you. Uh, and so that's what I see coming. We're just going to get progressively worse here until they're